Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 2 of this best of 3 between EmpireBratOK, who is the yellow Terran player in the lower left, and AcerNerchio, who is the blue Zerg in the top right. Now, all of you should be very familiar with Nerchio, and also BratOK is getting a lot more well known. He's been picked up by Team Empire, and he's actually a really solid player, so I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen Game 1, well, I'm going to give you spoilers, so if you do want to watch it, pause and flick over to my channel so you can find it nice, quick and easy. So, Game 1, basically, Nerchio just teched his way up. BratOK went for a 1 Rax CC build, so that's a very quick third command center. And while he had a great mid-game economy, he just wasn't able to slow Nerchio's tech down, and basically Nerchio got this incredibly large Broodlord Infestor Corruptor army, which ultimately BratOK just couldn't deal with. So that was Game 1 in a nutshell. Game 2, obviously, of this best of 3, if Nerchio wins, it means that he wins the entire series, so BratOK definitely won't want that to happen, and judging by the position of this supply depot, he's not going to be walling off at all. He's building that barracks again, so I reckon it's going to be, yet again, that 1 Rax command center build, which on this map isn't too bad. You can put the bunker in 2 places if you do want to be more defensive. You can either stick the bunker back here, between the command center and the ramp. That gives you a very defensive bunker. It's very hard for Zerglings to surround that. Or you can build the bunker more forward, which is, again, just a slightly more aggressive position to put it, trying to stop any kind of poking or prodding in, but can be a bit more vulnerable to a massive all-in push. So, what do we have going on Nerchio's side? Well, he's gone for that hatch first build as a 15 hatch, and, well, actually it must have been a bit earlier. It must have been a 14 hatch. So, that was a bit early, but there we go. We've got 14 hatch, 15 pool, I do believe, and now we've got BratOK going yet again for a very similar opening. He's probably going to take one of these SCVs down to build his command center, and this will be the one that does it. I know that because of the 300 minerals he had banked up, and of course the command center takes 400. So, in the interest of kind of speeding things up, I'm going to experiment with kind of putting the game on a bit of a faster speed, 2 times speed early on, while not really very much happens. So, do give me your thoughts on that in the comments section, guys. Basically, the intention is just because no one wants to kind of watch nothing happening in StarCraft games, so we may as well quickly whiz through. Obviously, I'll use this time to say that definitely if you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up. That would be super helpful. Subscribe as well. New top level games up every single day. But most importantly, leave a cool comment and let me know what you think of these games, because the interaction is cool. So far we've got the double gas down, we've got the factory on its way here for BratOK, so that's going to be a reactor Hellion opening, which, again, no third command center super early like he did in the previous game. Up at Nerchio's base, he's just grabbing those 2 gases up pretty damn quick. He's basically doing everything damn standard, but BratOK, he's now going for that 3rd CC. Again, this time round he went for the factory with the reactor before getting the 3rd command center down. He's now actually following this up with a starport, so this could be a reactor Hellion Banshee play out of BratOK. And of course Nerchio, he's getting up his 3rd base now at a good time, not too late, not too early either. And judging by the tech lab, we are going to see Banshee Hellion, and slowing this back down to normal speed now, because this is where some fanciness can start going on. And of course Nerchio, he's got the queens, they're spreading the creep everywhere and anywhere they can. We do have, well, a big push coming through here in terms of the units moving across, or, well, it's not a big push actually, it's just a little push, but considering how under defended Nerchio is right now, he's only got drones and queens. It can be a little bit difficult for him to deal with, especially once those banshees start hitting. But the one plus side for Nerchio is he does have 4 queens out. He's now getting those double Evo chambers and the Roach Warren, so he's completely teched up in everything he needs to deal with this. And of course, if he does spot a single one of those banshees coming across, he will be able to very quickly throw down a spore crawler at each base just to be super defended. Now, there's a quick cancel on those spores, but 1 does get taken down. 2 will be able to go across, and they weren't actually spores, they're creep tumors, what am I on about? But we do have this queen getting focused down, but 2nd queen coming in here, just trying to help as much as possible, and will manage to sneak away with just 5 HP. That was a really good control there by Nerchio. Really lucky more than anything else. Now we do have that first Banshee out, and it's not actually now just moving across the map. It has been switched back, so tank production will start. So just the one Banshee to be annoying. A lot of Zerglings have been flooded out here by Nerchio though, and if he gets the surround on these Hellions, it'll be a big win. It means he won't have to worry too much. But Nerchio wisely pulling back, doesn't want to get into any kind of big engagement. He doesn't ultimately know what's hiding up in Braddock's base. But this Banshee, it's going to be really irritating. There's no queens nearby here at all. The one queen going over is very low on health, and basically the Banshee could take it out exceptionally quickly, but it was spotted by that Overlord, and if Nerchio is paying attention, he'll be able to deal with that very quickly, and that is exactly what he was doing. 3 spores are on their way out. A couple of drones will get taken down though, and ultimately if this gets a good few kills, it'll be kind of paying for itself, although it needs to get a decent amount to make it really worthwhile, and 4 drone kills probably isn't as many as Braddock would have wanted from there. It's a shame it was spotted, but great Overlord placement here by Nerchio, just essentially giving complete vision of this side of the map. Now, meanwhile, we've got big Zergling counter-attack coming in here by Nerchio, and this is doing some big damage, picking off quite a few mules as well, which of course are very significant. And if we look at the workers killed now, only 2 workers killed by Nerchio, but he picked off quite a few mules, and that is really going to hurt Braddock's economy, especially going into the later game. But on the plus side, Braddock, he is back on 3 bases, equal with Nerchio, and essentially now Nerchio has to choose what he's going to do. Is he going to try and put on some more pressure, or is he going to really try and expand? He either needs to take that 4th base to stay a base up, or he needs to do big damage, and so far, even though he picked off a couple of mules, that wasn't big enough, and there is a second tank out, but it's not sieged up. These roaches and Zerglings will have to run in and quickly snipe the tank. That'd be their best bet at the moment, although the roach is not actually hugging up against the tank to reduce the splash fire, which is a bit of a shame, but both tanks do go down now. The roach is retreating, but that was a good little snipe there, and now of course a big ball of Zerglings are running forward. Those Hellions have to be very careful. The Marines do get completely surrounded, and they're going to melt near instantly, and this is a lot for Braddock to deal with right now. He does have a complete supply depot wall, needs to be careful though, and now of course a lot of mules and SCVs could go down here. The mules getting focused, a couple of SCVs going down as well, and this is just all great play for Nerchio at the moment. But we do have the medevacs there coming in, of course, now. Hive already on its way out with the Spire. Great timing by Nerchio just in game 1. He gets the Spire and Hive timed perfectly, so the second Hive finishes, he can start his greater Spire. The 2-2 upgrades coming out there for Nerchio, as well as the +2 infantry weapons coming out for Braddock, +2 infantry armor not yet started. But we do have the double Evo chamber, so there we go. We've also got the +1 vehicle attack, and well, this Banshee is still somehow alive with 5 HP, so he can poke around. Nerchio taking his 4th base, and if we look at the worker count, 75 to 63, Nerchio is going to be pumping near pure units probably from now on. He's getting pathogen glands out. This single Banshee will spot the drone though, but will not be able to deny this hatchery coming down quite yet. Of course, the infestors are now just starting production. You can start those pretty early on in the pathogen glands production. So really, we're now going into a big mid to late game composition from both of these players. I mean, once this Hive finishes up, I expect to see the Greater Spire start nearly instantly, and then essentially Nerchio is going to be ready to get out those Broodlords. He's got the Infestors already on the way. There's the Hive finished, and down comes a macro hatch. He's double expanding as well, which is really nice. So he's going to be up to a really nice 5 bases. He's got up that macro hatch. He hasn't started the Greater Spire quite yet, which is a shame. This supply depot wall off is going to get taken down pretty hard, unless of course Braddock does come in. But one supply depot goes down, the second one goes down as well. That's going to be irritating. It puts him nearly at a supply block straight away. Of course, this base is just so heavily oversaturated, it is insane. Even if you ignore the mules, there's way too many SCVs down there, so basically that is just more than you need. You should have 2 rows. The Greater Spire on its way now for Nerchio, and this is a big Zergling counter push coming in with an awful lot of infestors, and because of this oversaturation, a couple of huge fungal growths on that mineral line would be absolutely devastating to Braddock, or infested Terrans getting lobbed over. There's just so much available for Nerchio to do, and well, if he times this right, Braddock moving out right now, but he's only just moving across the map. The watchtower obviously being held by a couple of units, and now in come all of these Zerglings. They're just looping around trying to get as many as they can, and the fungal growth goes down, and just so many workers get taken down there. That is horrible for Braddock right there, but great timing out of Nerchio, and it looks like Braddock knows that he's got major problems. I mean, he's down to 50 workers. I mean, 32 have been killed by Nerchio already, and Braddock knows that he's got to deal a lot of damage right now if he's going to have any chance. The infestors are on their way back. So many workers cleaned up there. We do have a lot more units getting flooded in. The Corruptors are already out, but the Great Aspire only just finishing up now. So it'll be interesting to see whether those Corruptors are instantly morphed into Broods. Nerchio doesn't have a huge amount of money in the bank, but kind of trying to get out a couple more Infestors. Could be about to lose his third base though. We do have Zerglings running around surrounding those tanks, and now in come the Infestors, and this should get cleaned up very, very easily now by Nerchio. He's got just a couple of roaches in the mix, which personally I absolutely love. They soak up a good amount of damage. But meanwhile, Braddock, he was going to go and try and pick off this base, but of course the creep spread achieved by Nerchio getting up those early queens will deny that. And of course now the Broodlords are on their way in, and Nerchio has just crushed some big pushes, dealt a huge amount of damage, and has brought the worker count right down to having a nice kind of 25 worker lead, which is exactly where he wants to be. Now Braddock, he's got to do something big, but just as we saw in game 1, he sort of got himself pinned into this corner where he's not got the tech, he's not got the economy advantage, he's just kind of behind everywhere. I mean, yes, he does have the 2-2 and 3-3 on the way, but 2-2's already down there for Nerchio. Of course, Nerchio does have those Broodlords, which of course absolutely critical, and without a high Viking count, then Braddock's going to have a horrible time dealing with this, because the tanks, they'll be forced to unsiege to prevent splashing their own units, and the Marines, if they do try and charge forward, will ball up, and then the Infestors will be able to get some massive fungal growths down. But in we come now. We've also got quite a few Corruptors there ready to deal with the Vikings, should they need to. The Broodlords are pulling back, there's a couple of Broodlings are being lobbed down there. The Infestors are a bit out of range, and basically, the second the tanks unsiege, or maybe even before then, we've got Nerchio running in with all of these Zerglings and Infestors, and this could be GG right here. I mean, Braddock doesn't seem to have enough stuff, and of course, once these Infestors get into the mineral line, if they did choose the fungal growth, which is exactly what we're going to see here, the Zerglings and Roaches will be able to just deal so much damage. This is going to be painful to see, and of course, if we look at the work count now, half the workers for Braddock compared to Nerchio, and of course that is never going to end too well. Even this orbital command getting taken down, and there's the GG from Braddock. So that means Nerchio does take this series 2-0 and wins the best of 3. So thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe, and leave a cool comment. Also follow me on Twitter, that'd be awesome as well. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching, and catch you again soon. Bye for now.